Hi, this is Rick Brandenburg for North Carolina State University Turf Bugs and Rock and Roll. And following up with last week's session on how things can change, especially when you have a really strong pest management program, and it can force the pest to try to look for alternative ways to come back and haunt you. And you know, the real message behind all this is you have to continue to monitor, you have to look for changes, you have to look for changes in product performance, because the pests are going to do their best to find a way around the defense that you throw up. And another one we've talked about quite a bit around the country are earthworms. And most of the earthworm species we see in turf are exotic species. They've been introduced, and different parts of the country have different species, and even within a particular turf area you can have multiple species. We've talked about using early bird organic fertilizer and how it suppresses the populations. And what we've seen is that early bird organic fertilizer is it does more of a suppressant on certain species than it does for others. So again, if you use this early bird over and over and over again, you're simply going to select for the species that are less susceptible, and over time you say, well, the product fails. Well, you just simply selected for species that are more tolerant to it. So you need to understand that when you find a plan that works, you're putting pressure on other species to find a way to get around it. And so what we sometimes recommend is other products such as a Loft or Arena, which also can have some suppression effect, perhaps on the other species you have, that if you rotate those, you can find ways to keep the population suppressed at a level that you can tolerate it. But the take-home message here is that a turf system is constantly evolving. When you put pressure on the pests through really effective pest management programming, they're going to try to find a way around it. If you have pest management programs that are very mediocre, you really have less concern over that, because you don't have the pests trying to find ways around it, because, as I mentioned last week, they're still able to go to the right and they're able to score. So keep that in mind. Continue to monitor, continue to stay on top of things, no matter how good your program is. Hope that helps. Look forward to seeing you again next week.